Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Sisterhood of Common Sense Love and all the men that love and support them. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest is Dr. Enolia. We've been here before. We've had a couple of interviews. I've also been on her platform recently. We're going to be talking about not, only what she does and the wonderful books that she's written and like how multifaceted that she is, but also about a project that's really, really close to her heart is Wombology World, a place that fear or pain, the womb is a place to give birth to new life. Wombology envisions a world where women's voices are amplified across cultures, disciplines, and industries, guiding the evolution of society through leadership, wisdom, and innovation. We strive to create a global platform where women of all backgrounds come together to share knowledge, challenge paradigms, and inspire change. We're going to be talking about that today, plus the books, and we're also going to be talking about her work, which allows her to live in her truth and serve a deeper calling. And at the heart of everything, she likes a deep reverence for ancient knowledge, a wisdom that has shaped humanity for generations, but has often been forgotten or dismissed in today's fast-paced world. She believes in purpose is to be a bridge, bringing the sacred knowledge into the modern world in a way that feels alive, relevant, and empowering through storytelling, conversations, and connection. And she embodies becomes a space where timeless truths meet the present moment, offering guidance, healing, inspiration for all those who are seeking something more. I don't think there is anybody out there that isn't seeking something more. And, the beauty of where we're at in the world right now, through your platform, through my platform, through your books, through just being able to connect with people, more is at your fingertips. It's just a question, my motto for my shows is listen, learn, and apply, which is the same for you. When we listen and we learn and we apply, it can transform our lives, whether it's a tiny pivot or a great big redirection. But that's what we're here to do, isn't it? Shed light on a path for you. So good to have you back again, and it was a delight being on your show the other day. If you want to hear that, it will be on her show page, the link to that, you can hear that as well. But I don't even know where to start with you. Do we start with your books? Do we start with your program? I'm going to start with Wombology. How did that come about? Why is that so important to you, Han?
First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Sarah. And Wombology came to fruition because it is now our time to speak out. It's the divine feminine. And the divine feminine, and our voices have been buried for so long. And, we're hearing this awakening of everything, right? Yeah. The awakening of consciousness. And when I sat back and I thought about it, well, the feminine voice has been buried for so many centuries. When I study and I look at the ancient wisdom, who do I find? I find the masters. It's not that the women didn't exist. We forget that major libraries were burned in ancient times. So we lost a lot of knowledge in terms of who wrote them as well as what was written. So when is it the divine feminine's time to reign? When is it the divine feminine's time to be heard and to lead? And so Wombology really came to a point because it's not that I want to hear the women's voices instead of men, but it's time for us to lead the conversations. It's time for us to be able to share our knowledge and what we want to bring to fruition so that men can understand how we think, how we lead, and what's different, and how we would do or perceive things differently. And we can't do that until we step into the spotlight to lead, to share, to share what intelligence that we want to bring to fruition and what we feel and or deem is important. So near and dear to my heart, Wombology, I looked at also actually grasping the name from the women of the Amazon who actually do a rite of the womb. And they say a womb is not a place for fear or pain, but a womb is a place to
Mm.
create and give birth to new life, new
Yes.
ideas, new
Mm-hmm.
innovations, new
Mm-hmm.
everything. So it's time for us to step out of being afraid to be in the spotlight. It's time for us to step out of just saying, okay, the patriarchy is already there, so we're just going to honor that and just sit back in the shadows. It's time for us to lead certain conversations. And
We don't want to
that
be
was
the
the
background singers anymore, right? We want to
no,
lead.
not anymore. Not anymore.
And you know, it is the time of the feminine, of the woman. And, you know, with the men, for so long, they've been carrying this machoism. And really, what we want to do in the yin and yang is bring out more of the feminism, which they're afraid of. But you know, we are very capable of being yang and masculine in where we need to be, but we do it with a feminine touch. So we could be strong and kind and considerate and caring and loving and mothering, because I'm just thinking of mama, kind of telling, we can be all of that. And men can too. Men can embrace that feminine side of compassion and consideration and empathy and love and vulnerability, which is our strength. They can embrace that in themselves. But I don't think they've ever been given permission. So, through our empowerment, for us standing up, we're showing them how to embrace what lies within them as well by how to treat us, listen to us. It ignites it in them.
And that which makes us different doesn't make it wrong or right.
No.
Like my way is wrong and your way is right, but it just makes it different. And sometimes we need to learn how to embrace our differences. And so, patriarchy, when we look at it, right, not all men are headstrong and have to
Mm-hmm.
control everything, et cetera, et cetera. There are many men who are very supportive, who are very loving, who are
Yes.
very family oriented, who would willingly take that nurturing role and support us in helping us stand and support ourselves. So I
Yes.
want to give that credit to it. What we have to learn is to walk side by side. See, what
Mm-hmm.
happens is that instead of walking side by side, like in the marriage, one area wants to consume the other.
Yeah.
And what we're basically saying, or what I'm basically saying, is I've learned to walk side by side with my partner. There are things that he does that I don't enjoy doing. There are things that I
Mm-hmm.
do he doesn't enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
However, when we need to walk side by side and we complement each other, we're tolerant, we're patient, we're loving, and we care, and we're supportive, whether we like it or if it's not our cup of tea.
Yeah.
So how do you walk side by side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love doesn't have to be all consuming. I don't need to
No.
consume my partner, right? And
Right.
then freedom doesn't have to be all consuming. I don't need to control my partner. But if you look at a relationship, it's balanced, right?
Yes.
It's balanced in
Yes.
love and it's balanced in freedom. So why can't we learn to do that balancing in all aspects of our life?
And
Right?
100%.
So,
Yeah, I want to
well, go
just
ahead.
reply to that. But the in any relationship, whether it be a loving relationship, friend, business, no matter what, your strength, his strength, our strength together, right? The
Yes,
togetherness
yes,
is of the two people's individual strength and abilities and creativity and heart and soul, and they bring it collectively. It isn't about completing you; it's about complementing you. It's about how do we bring out
yes.
the best in
That's the
each other.
word.
And
That's
then when
the
you
word.
come together in that strength, and there are times that either side is going through a weaker stage, a vulnerable stage. Well, that's when you step up and be the strength, and vice versa. But when you're both strong and you come together, my God, look what you can do together. Look what you can create and achieve
Exactly.
together. But that goes for any form of relationship we have, business, friendship,
Yeah.
loving relationships, your children, everybody. When I bring the best of me forth and I share that with you and I embrace the best of you, it becomes the orchestra that transcends our ability on our own. We need that orchestra in the world, but that orchestra is only as strong as our individualism and our embracement of each other.
And that's the key, is the transcendence. See,
Mm.
when we look at each other as energy beings, right? We've
Yes.
transcended the human. And in transcending the humanness, right, we are the consciousness. We
Mm.
consciously um, uh, balance one another because there is no form. There's no form to define the
Yeah.
differences, right?
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
come back into the humanness. And the humanness, because there's a male body and there's a female body and they're different from one another, right? We want to highlight the differences. Okay, so there are differences, but that energy being within still hasn't changed. The intellect,
Yes.
the ability
Yes.
to take in and embody information, to hold the light,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
transcends all humanness, right? So
Mm.
why is it that we get into human form that we forget all that we've
Yeah.
learned, all that we are here for? So the key is to learn how to embody that in this form. That's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
We both have so much to bring to the table, you know? And then the thing that women bring also is we bring the power of gestation. And the
Mm.
power of gestation basically says that we're able to allow something to come in, we can embody it, we can let it take form, we can let it take shape. And then what we do is we give birth to something really, really beautiful, right? So here's
Absolutely.
the thing, we're capable of birthing things. And
Hmm.
then that birthing of what it is, we nurture it and we allow it to mature and we give it strength. We by that nurturing, by that love, by that support, right? And we are able to then launch something
Yes.
very, very beautiful. And that isn't just in human beings. That's
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
the board. And that's what's been forgotten. So I can be that
Mm.
leader and be in my total femininity
Yeah.
and be in my total femininity and feel powerful, because the power
Hmm.
of gestation, the power of what it took for me to birth it, to be there in that leadership role,
Yeah.
in that leadership position, is meaningful and has value. And we've forgotten that value. And
I
it's
think
been very,
anybody, mhm. I think anybody that's ever birthed a child understands this.
yes,
From the moment you conceive, how many how many things do we go through? Morning sickness, and then the backache, and then the feet ache, and then this ache, and then Braxton Hicks, and never mind the labor, right? And then
yeah,
afterwards you're exhausted, but you've got this life in your arms, and you're responsible for. But the moment that child, I mean, that love and that bond for that child is way before it's put in your arms. When it's put in your arms, you forget everything. I had the most horrendous pregnancies. As one doctor said, you're allergic to pregnancy. I had terrible deliveries, terrible.
oh,
And I did it 3 times. And they said, but you had it so bad. Why are you doing it again? And I said, for the end result. We
that's right.
understand what it's like, that it's okay to struggle. We don't have to suffer. That's a choice. But we struggle. We understand what struggle is. We understand that in order to get something that's so important, that is the essence of our existence, that we're going to struggle to do it. And we don't mind the struggle because we understand it.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you take what you just said in that birthing process and you apply it to everything across the board,
Absolutely.
think
Yes.
about that. You know, the birthing of your business and your
Mm.
essence that's in it, and the love that you have for this, and how you nurtured this baby so that this business can come to fruition. The birthing process of many different things, whether it's
Yeah.
relationship, whether it's community, whether it's, retreat, whatever that is,
Your
that's the
next chapter.
power. Your next
Yeah.
chapter, your book.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
all of that
everything is
is
is about that. Yeah. Yes.
and all of that is
Life.
the power of gestation.
Mm.
And whether you've actually given birth or you birth something that is near
Hmm.
and dear and passionate to your heart, it's the process.
It
It's
is.
the being able to hold. It's being able to know that you gave birth to that and that's your baby. And the smile that comes across as you see it take form and take its
Hmm.
energy and being alive.
When I've got grandchildren, four, two, and another one on the way in 2.5 months. And when they go and do something really adorable and cute and wonderful, it warms our heart. It brings a smile. Everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, can't help but smile at a child doing
Yeah,
something goofy. But it's the same thing when you birth an idea, a book,
it is.
a business, yeah, anything that I've got a dream, I have an idea. Can I do it? I don't know. Well, the first thing is take that leap of faith. I always say blind, deaf, and dumb in order to hear, see, and feel. Take that leap of faith. If it's something that comes from your heart, I don't know why I'm driven to do this, but I've just got to give it a try. And everybody's going, oh, yeah, 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 no, you'll fail. Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. And all those naysayers are there to challenge you. How much does it mean to you? Right? It means
Right.
so much to me. I don't know why I have to do it. I'm not even quite sure how to do it, but I know I must. I must put that one foot in front of the other. I must take this journey to see where it goes. It's so very important. And it becomes the calling. It's not about the destination because you'll have many destinations. It's about who do you gather on the journey? Where does it really take you in the twists and turns of life? Because if we're restrictive and go, I've got to be here by Friday and I've got to be this and that, you're missing the point. I used to be the hare. I had an idea, wanted to run to the destination, to the ending, open it up, come and see. I became the tortoise, right?
Yes.
And being the tortoise, I gathered people along the way. And I realized that that journey, taking time to gather the knowledge, the wisdom, the reason why, the depth of that content, that depth of that wisdom, that depth of that purpose became something that made the journey so much more meaningful. And I think when you've got, I don't know why I need to do it, but I need to do it, then just put the one foot in front of the other and go and do it. You are in Wombology right now, where it is taking everything you've ever learned and knowing how important it is to put it under one umbrella and hear the voices of women of wisdom to share out with the world. You have become the chorus, right? You're creating a chorus, not just relying on your voice anymore. But did you start off, oh, one day I'm going to do this? No, it's something that you realize,
No.
I'm only one voice. I need to magnify my voice. I need to have different instruments in my orchestra. I need to have other people that could be soloists or come together, in harmony. And then let's transcend those voices. Let's have them ricochet to everyone that listens to them and uplift them and shed light on their journey and their purpose.
And what you're saying is so important because it's one of the parts of the passion, which is that we have depth
Mm-hmm.
and people that have an opportunity to hear our depth, to know
Yes.
our depth
Yes.
as women, right? So as a traveler who's traversed the world, I've been to what is it about 49 countries so far in my lifetime, and I'm still wanting to travel and wanting to meet
Mm-hmm.
more. But one of the things that I gleaned and that I learned is that there is so much depth and wisdom in different individuals, and especially women, that have not been tapped into that need to be heard. And
Yeah.
so when I started Wombology, the one thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to bring out our intelligence. There is so much
Mm-hmm.
depth in our intelligence
Mm-hmm.
as it pertains to wellness, as it pertains to so many different subjects. We have numerology, we
Mm-hmm.
have holistic healing, we have just a plethora of
Yeah.
different various topics.
That
And
have
as
been
I meet
around for
women,
centuries, for eons, that no,
centuries,
people are only now discovering for the first time. Yeah.
exactly. And as I sit there and I interview people who are Egyptologists, who are
Mm.
geometers, who are biogeometry and experts, or whatever the case may be, and I'm sitting here going, well, why isn't this amplified? Why isn't I can't go to one place to hear these particular types of shows or
Mm-hmm.
these particular types of experiences and conversations and just be a fly on the wall and listen to
Yes.
them and
Yes.
learn from them and then be
Yes.
able to expand my horizons from them. So that also was at the heart of this
Mm-hmm.
project, in the respect that we bring so much depth Like you wouldn't know that there are many women who are looking at physics and quantum physics,
Hmm.
and then you get to hear Kathleen Nora, and her whole thing is quantum knowledge, period. And all she does is collect quantum knowledge all across the world, and she brings it to her platform, and this is who she interviews.
Hmm.
Or the fact that I just finished doing a beautiful interview with Susan Griffith Jones, and she took her artwork, and she's a innovative artist, but her artwork embraces biogeometry,
Hmm.
Plato's five platonics, blah 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 blah, and it brings it to a whole new depth of
Yes.
what you could call artwork, and you would sit back and you would be like, holy cow, what is
Right.
this?
Exactly.
And then the
It's
work that
changing the
you're doing,
perspective, isn't it? Yeah.
changing the perspective. And
Mm.
then what we are doing is we're not using new tactics. If
No.
you do your work, and if you really check out where the foundation of many of the topics that we're doing, it's ancient knowledge just being reiterated right now in modern
Hmm.
times, right? With our
Yes.
spin on it for our here and our now, right? So
Hmm.
it's important. And the beautiful thing is we have approximately 15 people doing various different shows, including yourself. I don't want to leave you
Hmm.
out.
No, no, I'm very
and
happy to be a part of the platform. Very happy.
and sharing the wealth and the plethora of topics and knowledge that is so important to us across the board. And I'm just so proud to be the platform for this.
Yes.
So yay for the women who joined side by side, so that we can complement and share and have discussions, and not just discussions with other women, but with men, women across the board,
Hmm.
everywhere, and youth everywhere, in order to really enhance and amplify what it is that we're passionate about.
A lot of people would say, but Sarah, you have your own platform. So, A, why have you joined your platform? Why am I supporting the platform? Aren't you in competition with each other? No, we're in expansion. You're
Yes,
another branch of what I do. I'm another branch of what you do, right? We
you
are a
are.
tree, a really good, solid, deep-rooted tree that has many branches. And all we're doing is allowing the expansion to be there. I honor what you're doing, and you're focusing a great deal on particulars where with 19 genres, everybody's got to come from the heart, and it's got to be their meaningful purpose and calling. That's the fundamental of it. But I do get people who, with the numerology, with this, that, but I'm a little bit broader in what
Mm-hmm.
topics I bring, where you're more directional in the people than the topics that you have there. And I've actually got a couple of people for you that I've just got to introduce you to that would be perfect for the network. And I,
Excellent.
you know, I did this a number of years ago where I had hosts, and it's a lot of work. And when
It's a
COVID
lot
came
of work.
about, and people said, no, I can't do it. I just dropped hosts and I opened up a mentors directory and kind of did something different and ended up doing 8, 9 shows a week. Now I balance my life between grandchildren life and only work 3 days a week. There is no competition here. It's collaboration, it's complementary to each other, and it's allowing the voices, to reach out. And it's sisterhood, for Christ's sake.
Well, we have to unlearn what we've been told, right? All
Yes.
our lives we've been told to divide, conquer, and compete.
Mm.
And what does that do? I'm going to tell you what it does. It makes you weaker, right?
Yes.
Because the bottom line is, when we gather and we amplify our voices, all of those voices in that chorus make a harmonious sound. Okay.
Ooh,
So the
yeah.
bottom line is that when we come together, we are stronger. And
Hmm.
we have to learn how to come together. Why is it because you do something different, I have to be in competition with you? Who created that rule? Right?
Even if you're
I
doing
really,
something similar, right?
yeah,
Even if you're doing
yeah.
something similar, there is no one size fits all.
And there's
You're a
billions of
different spice
people.
to the dish.
There are billions of people. You don't think there's enough room so that
Exactly.
certain amount of people are going to be drawn to you, certain amount of people are going to be drawn to me, or to the next
Exactly.
person, the next person. What? There's not enough room? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
So I've learned in my indigenous teachings that we sit in circle. No one's above you,
Hmm.
no one's below you, no one's in front
Yes.
of you, no one's behind you. We
Yep.
all sit
Hands
in
around the
circles,
world. Yeah. Mhm.
hands around the world. Our voices count across the board.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be that I'm on stage and you have to be below me. It does not have to be that.
Amen. Amen. 100%. I feel that, people say, do you interview celebrities? And I said, I celebrate all people I interview, whether they are a person that's in the public eye or not. Basically, who are they at the core? What journey have they had that has led them to where they are today? And why is what they're doing today so important to humanity as a whole? How does it support? We're all here in service of each other. We're all
Exactly.
here to contribute. Very often, our journey in life is to find out what that contribution is. And so
Mhm.
many people, have what, I call the cosmic nudge, nudge, wink, wink, which they don't pay attention to and get the cosmic 2x4. And it could be cancer, divorce, end of job, something that shifted their life completely in another direction. And they struggled for a while and they had to find their courage and their strength, but they discovered abilities they never had. And they stepped into something that became so meaningful and their purpose. But they had to have all those other experiences to bring to that purpose now, right? And that's the
Right.
journey of life. We don't start off from step one where we know it all. The whole beautiful thing about the journey of life is the gathering of wisdom and knowledge, but gathering the wisdom to know how to use the knowledge. People can have knowledge for knowledge's sake, but you've got to understand the wisdom and how to use the knowledge. And that comes the more you gather along the way.
And that comes the more that you expand your heart.
Yeah.
That comes the more that you break the walls down of jealousy, insecurity, and
Yes.
all of those various different things that we love to use to justify being greedy or
Mm.
separation or amplifying, oh, it's only about me, or stealing people's work, et cetera, et cetera. Such a plethora of things that have always been done in the past because we don't hold the proper values and
Yeah.
integrity of by which we are supposed to operate. And
Right.
so to me, having that integrity and being able to be authentic in your voice means everything. And
Absolutely.
that's what we need to step into. We need to be able to put those aspects of ourselves down that are insecure and jealous
Hmm.
and et cetera, so that we can be stronger. Because again, when we amplify and we join hands, we are stronger, because then it's not one person doing it, but there's a group of us doing it. And
It's
if
good
there's a group of us
vibrations.
where there's you're amplifying that vibration
Absolutely.
tenfold instead of
Yes.
single. you
Yes.
know this is the learning, this is the teaching, this is what we have to do it, and we need to do it in the times when it's more chaotic, more than
Ever.
ever. It
That's the
needs to
reason
be.
well, I came up with this channel, because it was like,
Yeah.
it's almost with what's going on. We need to bring the mama out. You did what? Ah. We don't behave like that. Where is your
Right.
conscience? Where is your compassion? Where is your empathy?
Right.
Where is your common sense? And it's
No
almost kind
facades, please.
sorry,
No
Sarah, miss,
facades, please. No facade.
exactly. Right, right, right. And it is about us stepping up about what's wrong, but not with pitchfork or guns or hate, but stepping
Mm,
up with that
yeah.
common sense of like, do you see how destructive this is? And can you see how, with kindness, consideration, compassion, love, respect, of how much more productive we could be? In the
Right.
togetherness, we are stronger. In the hate and the
Yeah.
fear and the opulence and the everything else, we are divided. And what happens when we're
Yes.
divided? It's so easy to be picked off. It's so easy to become the victim. We have more narcissism now than I think we've had in history. And that comes from people who, as a child, haven't been taught how to share, how to be compassionate, how to be giving. And they're insecure people inside, insecure children that don't know how. They're living the outside life. If only I'm popular,
Right.
if only I'm rich, if anybody could see me. It's a prime minister of a certain country that's the poster child for this, a few of them actually. All right. And all we see is neediness, right? You're never going to find it on the outside. You're only going to find it when you
No.
take the journey in, ignite your heart, your soul, and your spirit, align with other divine energetic beings, lift each other up, work on the same wavelength, become that harmony, and you will see your own transcendence into who you're meant to be.
It reminds me of a quote from Emerald Tablets, and it says that the children of light have only asked the children of men to hold the light. They will
Mm-hmm.
support them in any way, right? And what that basically means is all we need to do is stand in our authenticity and hold our light. And that anything above and beyond that is even extra. But if we are
Mm.
able to hold our light, if everyone focused on being and holding their light from what comes internal, externally, in the beauty, in the love, in the truth that they're supposed to be standing in, imagine how this world would be, right? We'd all be
How
beings
it's
of
meant
light.
to be.
Oh, ourselves.
Yeah.
There we go. You
It's
know?
how it's meant to be. This is what we were designed for. We are so behind our evolution in our consciousness. I did a
Yeah.
show last week, which because I do one every week myself, and I called it the Consciousness Rebellion. And
Yes.
this is a rebellion right now. It is a revolution right now where we are um, begging people to raise their consciousness to a higher level, to a higher dimension, to a higher frequency. Because when you're on that higher level, you can't knowingly harm someone else. To do so is to harm you. You understand the ripple effect of hurting someone and how it just hurts everybody. And but only
Yeah.
you're only going to understand that. You're only going to understand collaboration and unity and compassion and what your instrument is when you choose to raise your consciousness. And in a
Right.
world right now where consciousness seems to be flying out the window, more and more at this time do we need to ignite it. And for those that have it, amplify it.
And what I like to do is I like to give people a vision, a visionary goal, right?
Mm,
We read about civilizations that are, and we put them on movies and everything else.
yeah.
Civilizations that are able to handle technology
Yes.
and be intelligent, be in
Wakanda.
balance. And what we need
Yes.
to visualize is that that is our goal. No, really,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's like fractalization, right?
Yes.
I look at it like fractalization. There is disharmony
Mm-hmm.
when a branch breaks off because we can't tell where uniform this is until it grows and until it comes into a harmonious way of being so that we
Mm.
can see that it broke off from the center point. So I feel like we are like in the middle of that fractal that just broke off. And we're
Yes.
looking to come into harmony again so that we can be at that higher essence of level. But people need a goal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of what's there. Just realize that we're all raising our vibration. We're all
Mm-hmm.
aspiring to come into harmony, and that it feels like true discord until the chords start melding together, until the chorus finds the right amplification and finds the right notes and finds the right everything to come into that harmony so that then we can be in a harmonious way and we can balance and live and be and expand in a harmonious way, in an intelligent way. We can handle what is given to us technology wise. We can handle this. We can handle family. We can handle the balancing of it all as a higher level civilization. And goodness, it's painful to get there. But
Oh,
please,
God, is it?
those of you who feel like
It's a,
it'll
a long
be,
gestation of birth.
we're right back to it
Yeah.
all, right?
Right
So
back to it.
all that visualization, yes, that we are capable as a civilization to being there. We
Yeah.
are.
Kind of, like the movie Wakanda, right? Where,
Yes.
they have all of this technology and they use it, to create a community that they protect, that everybody benefits from. We look at AI today, and immediately human nature will go to the evil side of it. That is got nothing to do. And also, I've got a thing about artificial intelligence. I don't call it that. I call it collective intelligence because it's human intelligence
Mm-hmm.
that's being collected. So everything that it's able
It
to do
is.
is what we've taught it, right? So it's
Yeah.
so that collective intelligence, when we use it wisely, expands our own horizon because a certain part of us physically is limited. So the more technology out there
Right.
that can take away the need for the drudgery or um, for things that would take our time, that really is taking away from the time that we're what we're really meant to be doing, the better. The more that we look at technology that allows us to expand our minds, to expand our horizons, the better. But we've got to get out of this thing about I've got to weaponize everything. No, you
Right.
don't. You
Right.
don't.
No,
It's
you
not
don't have to
there for
weaponize
that.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the key thing here is that, okay, so allow the intelligence to do the mundane things, but
Yes.
then that you're freed, when you're freed, do your homework,
Yeah.
go deeper,
Yes.
learn more, read more. You have a freed up time because the task that took you 4 hours now takes you 1 hour. That's standard. Okay, fine. I can write a letter and clean it up much more quickly. I can write a business plan and clean it up much more quickly. Okay, great. Right? But then do your homework, do the reading, read the consciousness of man and understand it from your perspective, not from
Yes.
a machinery perspective. Because the fear people have is, when we allow something to influence and we don't do our homework to check it and we just
Yes.
take blind influence, then when somebody programs the wrong thing into it, we
Yes.
what? Follow blindly. So the
Yeah.
key is, don't follow blindly, do your homework. So if you are going
Backtrack.
to be a researcher, be the best researcher that you are and have many alternatives of research. If you are going to be a geometer, then practice writing the geometer. Don't always have the computer doing it for you. Know
Yeah.
how to do it manually so that you can check and balance that which is being done electronically and digitally. This is the balance of anything that we've ever seen that is a higher level civilization, that they are able to do things manually and be able to double check that which is showing
Yes.
up in digitally, and there's
Exactly.
a balance in it. And I love this because, like, I know how to do everything that I do manually, as well as,
Hmm.
okay, here's the best way to do it. And people are like, well, why would you want to do that? Well, why wouldn't I? Well, why
Hmm.
wouldn't I want to know how to do that? That's like basically saying I can grow my food from a seed and I understand how to handle seeds. And I understand that if I add water and I nurture the seed a certain way, it what? Becomes from a single cell to a split cell and then creates, right? That which gives birth, starts, right? But if I don't know how to handle seeds and all I know is that the, AI creates and all of a sudden it's just boom, it's what happens when that's taken away? What happens if I have to go back to something manual?
But
I'm
where's your
lost.
appreciation?
And where's your
Don't we
appreciation?
appreciate things? It's like, birthing a child. Don't we appreciate when that child is there, all that we went through for it, when we've accomplished a business deal, when we've met that right partner in our lives? Appreciation, I think, is something, I think that we're in a world of lackitude instead of gratitude,
Yeah.
right?
Gratitude.
And if,
Yeah.
I say to people, do two columns, everything you feel you don't have and everything that you actually do have. What are you going to water?
Yeah.
Right. And so, yes, do your research. Now, that doesn't mean everybody is going to be kind of like the scientists or the research. You don't have to become that.
Oh, no, no, no,
But it
no.
is be inquisitive. Where did this come from? What's the core truth of this? How did this come about? Right? You may not have to know the
Has it been
molecular structure.
interpreted correctly? Has it
Sorry?
been interpreted correctly? Has it been
Exactly.
translated correctly?
Yes.
Do you know, like, when you take languages like Aramaic, or if you take languages like Sanskrit, or you take hieroglyphics, that they
Yes.
have many multiple meanings from depending on how you set up the words, and
Right.
that you can amplify this part of the meaning and de-amplify the other, and just give it the meaning that you want it to have. Well, go back and understand that there is multidimensional meanings for this one particular word. Where is it that it needs to be in order to really fulfill what it is that I'm looking for? Yeah.
While you're doing that, also trust your knowingness, right? And
Yes.
you know me, I'm very much the downloader.
Yes.
I'm not an academic person. I'm a
I'm a
channeler.
downloader.
I'm a
Yeah.
downloader completely. And when I download that wisdom, my soul resonates with it, my heart connects with it, my spirit gets into action, and my mind knows what it needs to know when it needs to know it in clarity. And I trust that knowledge and I feel it in the very core of me. And I know
Yeah.
whether I understand it or not, maybe I'm meant to investigate it. This is the path that you're meant to go on, but this is it, full stop. What am I meant to
Yeah.
do with it? Right?
Yeah.
But it is it. If I go into my mind, I then get into that circle. Yeah, but what? Yeah, but if,
No,
because
we're not
my,
looking at ego. We're definitely there's a
yeah,
knowing, and like on the medicine wheel, we call it the vertical versus the horizontal. The
mm-hmm,
horizontal on the medicine wheel is the see, touch, taste, smell, here, right?
yeah,
But it's in the humanness, right? But
yes,
then you tap through the heart, and you're in the vertical, the place where you pray, the place where you seek for a higher knowledge, seek for
yes,
validation, because that's how spirit comes through us,
yeah,
right? And so when we go into that place of knowingness and it validates and it
mm-hmm,
shares with us, oh, I got goosebumps. I know that this validates, or like, you know what, I'm not feeling this. Well, my higher self is telling me this is a bunch of crap,
yes,
No,
yes,
not
yes,
validation for me. We have to go into that timelessness within
mm-hmm,
and make sure that everything is validated.
yes,
And that's how we know. And that's
yes,
how we
exactly. Be inquiring, you know, ask questions. I think people have become so scared to say, I don't know, I need more information. And it's
Yeah,
okay to ask for information. Society has made people feel so stupid because they don't know. Well, how do you know unless you ask? Right? We
exactly.
have to be inquiring. We have to be wondrous. We have to be exploratory. And if there's something we don't understand, and then that goes back to, my training as a two colors coach and our personality traits, because our personality trait is going to dictate how we receive the information, right? So somebody can say, this is this, and I don't get it. Somebody will say it from a personality trait that I'm more aligned with. This is it. Oh, I get it. So, from how do you learn? How do you receive information? Because it's not like one size fits all. Knowingness is, that's just divine truth. But when it comes to being investigative, know yourself from the human perspective, from the human design, so you can
Yeah.
align it with your soul design and that they don't clash and that you know how to work in harmony together.
Yes. And also know how to tap within
Mm,
to allow that to amplify through the humanness. Because a lot of times, what will happen is that people will take their role in their humanness and allow that to dictate who they are. And it shouldn't
yes.
be.
No.
We are energetic beings first and foremost, and that should be amplifying through all of the roles that we put on. I always make this akin to like putting on a hat, right? The hat of the mother, the hat of the daughter, the hat of the this, the hat of the employer, the hat of the,
Mm-hmm.
this, that, and the other, right? In the humanness that I have to fulfill all of these roles through. But me, that energy being called Enolia, should shine through all of the hats that I'm wearing, such that,
Yes.
I can navigate through the world, through the stories, through all of the situations and expectations and everything else as that divine being that I am. And that's just
And never losing yourself along the way.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
And that is a journey. And I'm sure like you as well. I mean, not only through your work, but also through this and podcasting, etc. Um, I've learned so much about myself in the 13 years I've been a podcaster and interviewing people. It's been my own therapy. It's been my own self-discovery of who
Yeah,
I am. It's also been permission for me to be who I am, where I spent 65 years being told no. And then suddenly it was like, it's okay to be me. I am who I am. This is my path. This is what I'm meant to do. And that's enough. That is enough.
yeah,
Again, back to no compete
yeah,
and no compare. You are each given a gift when you are born. This is what you were designed for. Our journey of life is to discover what that is and then to perfect it in a way that it's not perfection, but to do the best with it that you can and in alignment with your heart, soul, and spirit, mind, and body, and share it with the world, right? But we have to let go of all these societal expectations and dictations and go in to the divine, to the sacred, to the very heartbeat of Earth and universe and discover who we are and ignite our heart and soul and spirit into being.
I agree. And, a lot of people never realize that. They say, well, that's the rule. And I always love this because my ex-husband would say, the rules are always made for everyone but you, because I would always go, well, who made this rule? Who
Yes.
said that motherhood had to be like X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
Who said as a sister I have to do this, 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 and this? Who said that as an auntie I have to be like this, and this? Who made these rules? Because
Yes.
if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not doing it,
No, sorry, that
And
mold doesn't fit me. Yeah.
it does not
Yeah.
fit me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't align with my spirit, align with the kindnesses and
Yes.
and whom I want to be and how I want to portray myself, I'm not going to do it. So for me, and I would always step back and I would challenge the rules of, well, who created this rule and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't align with me and it doesn't make sense. And I don't have to follow it if it doesn't make sense and it doesn't align with me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, as our spirit tells us it doesn't
Yeah.
align with us, we need to honor that in our hearts.
The core.
We need to,
Listen to your core.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
listen to
Yes.
your call.
Yes. It
I
hasn't got
sat
an agenda. It's not going to lie to you. It's not going to, it's not like I'm going to
exactly,
get you, my little pretty. No, it's there to be your compass, to be your guide, to be your wisdom. It's there to support you
there
100% with no agenda other than that.
and help you grow and help you
Yes.
expand and help you
Yes.
embrace that which is uncomfortable and make it comfortable. And
Yeah.
that's how we grow. That's how we embody being able to be grand and not coming here to play small, because playing
Yeah.
small is playing by every rule and feeling oppressed and going, I can't go beyond here and I can't go beyond there, and allowing those boundaries to come in further and further and further until you feel like you can't breathe and you can't move.
Exactly. Take those labels off, right?
Yes.
It's somebody else imposed them upon you. They're not your
Yes.
labels, right? And you
Yes.
define who you are from the inside out, from your divine presence. You define who you are. You stand tall in your own self. You be authentic and honest and true to who you are. And then you will bring that truth into everything else that you do.
Yes. Because we didn't come here to play small. And that's one
No.
of the things that I always love to amplify. We did not come here to be small or play small or act small. We came here to be grand, grand in our light, grand in
Mhm.
our truth, grand in our love, grand in all aspects of what it is. So, if you feel oppressed, if you feel limited, let go of those limited beliefs, let go of those judgments and projections that would keep you small and be grand. And that's what my elders have taught me when
Mhm.
I look in the mirror, to love what I see, love the totality with
Yes.
every flaw and with every, piece that needs to be worked on, whatever it is, just embrace the totality of it and accept it within, and still know that you are grand, because there is no such thing as perfection,
No, there's
not
perfect
not
moments in time, right? But there
that's
is
about
no
it.
yeah, that's it. There's a
Not
perfect
perfection
moment.
in terms of
No, no.
yeah,
You are
exactly.
flawsome, right? So flawsome, you take the Japanese bowl, they broke it and they put it back together with gold and it became more valuable. I'm saying take all your shattered pieces through your life, put it back together with self-love. Self-love. Now fill it with love and let that runneth over. Because when you do that and you put it back together with self-love and you fill it with love, you have a love
I
generator
love that.
that all it wants to do is share, is share, is share that love.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So these are the kind of shows you're going to get on Wombology. These are the kind of
Yes, it
passionate
is.
people that you've gathered. Each one of them is an instrument in their own life, and you've gathered an orchestra. Where I bring people from all over the world, and I'm the interviewer. Used to have the host, but you're now going and bringing the hosts that are going to come on and share their wisdom and share the conversations they have with other people on their particular topics and their wisdom. So for people who are on a journey of life, for people that are in self-discovery. What is my instrument? I've been playing by the books for so long, and it's just like it doesn't fit me anymore. I don't know where I belong. I have no idea what in life expects of me. Well, this is why I say listen, learn, and apply. Because between us, the people she has on Wombology, the people I've got on self-discovery, the amount of wisdom that you have access to is mind-blowing. But you have to participate
It
in
is.
your own journey of life. That means you need to listen more than one podcast. And when something resonates with you and it ignites you, follow it through. Where is it meant to take you? What are you meant to do with it? Is it just something you're gathering in the knowledge?
Exactly.
Is it opening the door to something else? Please be exploratory in your own life. But all of these shows from both of our platforms are here to bring you the people that have taken the journey, that have stepped into their wisdom, and with heart, soul, and conviction are here now to share with you for your journey of life.
Exactly. I wouldn't, you couldn't have said it any better. You couldn't have said it any better. And I'm excited to just honor this platform. I'm excited to honor the women who bring and lead these conversations. And I can't even tell you how humbled I am, because the intelligence and the wisdom that they bring is just off the charts. So
And
yes.
life learned. You know, it's they've earned that wisdom because they've been willing to take the journey. They were
Yeah,
willing to pivot, to redirect, to be inquisitive, inquiring. They were willing to do that. And now, when you step into your meaningful purpose, when you have found that right orchestra for your instrument, you can't help but want to share it, that want to ignite that light in
exactly.
others. It is almost a compulsion to do so, not out of accolades, not out of, how many followers or how many this or that, just at having an impact
No,
in your excitement from your heart and your soul to ignite somebody else's heart and soul into being their own light.
yes. And that's our purpose.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Isn't it a great purpose?
It
It
absolutely is. It's
there's
wonderful.
so much to learn from each other. You have a passion in understanding how all that has come before is accessible to us now to show us the path forward, that the old sacred teachings are even more important today than they ever were. And that
Ever.
ever, yeah. And that we
So
can
the
really
the,
amplify
the
that.
teachings are because when you take the time to really look at what had been taught already, that's what's needed right now. That
Yes.
is what's going to be amplified right now. How simple is the message? I'm sitting there reading the, like I said, emerald tablets, and then like the children of men hold, are asking the children of light are asking the children of men to hold their light. And I was like, I had to sit there and I think about that. It's like, okay, they're asking me to hold my light. They're not, we run around going, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What
Hmm.
should I be doing? It's sitting here, right here, telling me, just hold your light.
Yes.
Just, if you can just hold your light, you're doing your job, right? You're doing what you were asked to do, to be here, be in this human situation, be in this matrix. Hold your light. Let those lights amplify all across the world. If everyone just allowed themselves to hold their light as they amplified across the world, oh my gosh, how simple is that?
How
Right? But we
simple.
run around, oh, what should my purpose be? Should I do this fight? Should I do that fight? Should I do this fight? Should I do that fight? Just hold your light. Just don't be insecure. Don't be afraid to hold your light. Just,
Yes.
be the beacon that says, here's the best version of me. I'm going to just amplify that.
Common
The
sense
best
love,
version.
really. That's really what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
this is my light. This is the only light I'm meant to be. Joyce next to me may have a different version of light, and you may be attracted to her light. That's okay. I own
Yeah.
my light.
My
My
light.
light sheds a path for you to take or not to take, or sheds a path of knowledge that you may partake in or not partake in. It's there for you to choose. I call that the sunny side of the street. Then you've got people that are on the one side in the darkness, right? They can see on the street the light is shining. They can see other people on the other side that are living in their light. but they can't help anyone until they are willing to come out of the darkness, until they're willing to step onto that road. When they step onto that road and they walk it, they're going to find various degrees of light along the way that they're going to be attracted to, that they will seek guidance from. These people aren't there to do it for you. They're there to share the wisdom and knowledge for you to put in your own backpack to take forward on your own journey of life in becoming your own light.
Yes, yes, I would agree. I would agree. And I look at that and you know, all we have to do is find our balance.
Yes.
No, nobody's asking you to be a guru.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's asking you to be the queen of darkness. Just find your balance.
Yeah.
We're like a sine wave. We weave in and out, and there's a purpose for everything. And as we find our balance in between, you know, there are times when we need to glean from this area of darkness, and there are times we need to glean from this area of light to find what? Our balance, to be able to
A
walk.
contouring, our shape. What does
Our
the
shape
darkness do? It adds shape to the light. It gives it.
without we have
Yeah.
sunlight, we have darkness, right? We have to
Right.
sleep in the dark. We need it. You
Yes.
know, we're animated during the day. We need it, right?
Yes.
But they balance one another. One's not way over, the pendulum is not way over into the
Mm.
darkness, the pendulum not way over here. Back and forth. Find our
And
balance.
also to know that there is the darkness of doubt and fear and despair very often. But you're invited to walk into the light of free will. But for a long time, I was about
Yes.
8 years, I was in the darkness. I saw the light and I was too scared to come out. It was a very tumultuous time in my life. And when I eventually came out, the light blinded me and I felt I was being chased by the shadows. But as I walked forward, I realized the shadows were contouring the light and giving it shape, giving it definition. Now I do not fear the dark, for I am the light in the dark. The darkness isn't there to consume me or suppress me or remove me from life. It is now my blackboard that when I am that light, it sheds light onto the blackboard of what I need to know in the now.
What a beautiful analogy. Thank you for that. That's a beautiful analogy.
We're so afraid of, black, white, dark, light. No, again, yin, yang, balance, understanding everything has a
Balance.
reason, everything has a purpose. The darkness, time to rest, a time to see things from a different point of view. The light, well, you need the shade and the shape to understand what the light is. Otherwise, you're just great big huge beam of light blinding someone, right? Where does that light need to focus? Right? Where are you
Right.
meant to shed
Right.
it? So, right. And I think
Exactly.
that's we have to participate in our own lives. We have to say, you know, I want to be like that person. No, you're inspired by that person and you can emulate what they do, but you have to be what you're meant to be, right? It's their
And then
light
if
has
you
shed
really
on you, it's lifted you up, but you're not meant to be their light.
Right. And if you really think about what we do, we walk through life and things are unveiling in front of us all the time.
Yes.
And then the door opens and the door closes, and the door opens and the door closes. And if we choose to go through the door, then our path just kind of veers to that direction, right? And then what do? We walk the path. So the bottom line is, how do you choose to walk the path? And what emotions do you choose to hold? And how do you choose to show up in that path? And
Yes.
then we learn and we walk the path.
Big one. How do you choose to show up? Right? Because that is in your control. That is your choice.
Yes.
So, we've talked about putting your best
Yes.
foot forward, so to speak. It is about your choice. Are you going to come angry and mad and spit and spat? Or are you going to come, compassionate and inquiring and loving and encompassing, right? So it's your choice. We can all get mad at something. And yes, you get mad, get mad. You got to spend that emotion, but don't become vindictive. Don't become hateful. Don't become out to make somebody else suffer because you're suffering. It's like, I'm mad. What am I going to do about it? How am I empowered to change this? Or is it something I need to walk away from because it's affecting my life?
And then I'll take that analogy a different way, which is, am I going to come with my shoes on or am I going to come with my shoes off? And with my
Mm.
shoes on, I walk all over everything and I walk on anything and I don't really feel anything, right? Or am I
Right.
going to take my shoes off and I'm going to walk barefoot and I'm going to feel every step
Hmm.
that I take, whether it's soft, whether it's hard, whether it's pebbly, whether it's prickly, etc., so that I can notice how I show up in
Yes.
those paths as
Yes.
I walk. Am I walking unconsciously or am I walking consciously?
There's a lot more what we call sensitives in the world now,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people that, and they're called sensitives because people find them very sensitive. They're sensitive to atmosphere, energy, and everything. It's selectiveness. We know that we cannot be around certain energies because they become too ricocheting, too static, too destructive. So that sensitivity allows us to tune into the vibrations, tune into the frequency and the wavelengths that allows us to keep in flow and expand that
Mhm.
flow. So if people say you're too sensitive, then maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you now need to look at how does that sensitivity come about? What is it telling me? Is it telling me to be more selective? Is it telling me this arena is not for me? Is it telling me I need to look for people that are on my same vibrational length, that orchestra, right? So again, back to those labels. It's information. What you're going to do with that information and how does it serve you?
Right, right. And that sensitivity, how do we choose to embrace it and how do we choose to look at it? Can we use it as a gift or do we use
Yeah,
it as
an
oh,
excuse.
I don't want to be an excuse to
Yeah,
hide,
yeah,
excuse to isolate ourselves away from everybody because we have fear, we have, desires that is like, oh no, it's too much. I can't take it, I can't take it. And again, that balance, finding
mhm.
that balance and understanding that, I have the sensitivity and it's a gift. Now,
Yes,
how can I shift my perspective and use it as a gift?
yeah,
What is it that I need to be sensitive to that is going to be all embracing so that it helps me navigate my path, navigate
hmm,
past stories, navigate past perspectives and circumstances that don't serve me or that do serve me?
hmm,
You know, we can always shift our perspective and
yeah,
leverage which we have as a gift because they
yes,
are all gifts.
they
They
are.
are all gifts. Yeah.
Self-awareness, right? It's understanding who you are, why you are, what you're here for, but also never becoming complacent with that knowledge. It's like
Hmm.
we're always, it doesn't matter how much I know today, what am I going to know tomorrow? It's always that willingness to expand, to learn from one another, right? Again, don't
Right.
compete, don't compare. It is about, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring because I believe inspiration begets invitation. It invites me to look at something from a different point of view. It allows me maybe to see something in
Right.
myself I hadn't seen, or to see the world in a different way that I hadn't looked at through those lens, right? So be inspiring for
Right.
people by being who you are. That's the invitation.
Right. Yeah. It is. It absolutely is. And so, as we get invited, we need to have done enough internal understanding of ourselves to understand what it is that we want to bring to fruition to humanity. And
Yes.
that's what it boils down to. So, as we deep dive into our knowledge and we glean wisdom, what is it that you want to birth in
Hmm.
humanity? What is it that you want to share with humanity that is a contribution that lifts it up?
Yes.
That allows people to grow, that allows people to feel supported, that allows people, and that's how I love living my life,
Yeah. You're
so that
living your
every
truth.
action and living my truth right,
Yes.
and that every action that I do, I know contributed in some positive way, one way or another, whether I know about it or whether I don't know about it, to
Exactly.
somebody.
Right. And do not think that but it worked for me. Why can't it work for them? Because it's not their vibe, it's not their time, it's not their journey, right? Concentrate on
Mhm.
you. Concentrate on you,
Right,
right?
right,
We can't drag people along, but we can inspire people to take their own journey by us taking our journey, right? But we can't demand that somebody else do. And if you have to close doors
no,
along the way, that's okay. That's part of the journey as well. I want to touch on all your books You have Enolia, you have the seven principles of self-mastery, you've got Know Thyself, and you have another one here, which is Enolia, but is this one different? You have the journal, and then you have the other book.
Yes,
Can
I
you
have the
talk?
journal and story. Yes. So I have Enolia, Finding My Sovereign Voice with my grandmother elder. And
Mhm.
that one is actually my walk away from corporate and my journey of finding my first Indigenous grandmother that started me on my spiritual path. We all reach a precipice when we look at what we're doing in our lives and we go, how the hell did I get here? What did I do? Why am I here? I don't like where I'm at.
Yeah.
How do I change it? Help! Help! You know,
Yes.
I want to scream, oh, I'm so unhappy. But what do I do? Where do I go? So I've looked for an Indigenous elder. Like here I am, I'm African and I'm Native American. I have a percentage of Native American, I'm Cherokee. And I was like looking for an African elder and I couldn't find someone to invite into my life to teach me. So I was like, okay, here I am, upstate New York at the time. And so there were Native traditions all around me and Native Americans all around me. It's like, okay, Creator, I'm praying in a Native American elder, and I met Grandmother Isabel Mawasaki at the 13 Indigenous Grandmothers Gathering. And that gathering really gathered when I say grandmother, I'm not talking about grandmother just birthing grandchildren.
Yes.
I'm talking
Right.
about grandmother as an affectionate term for medicine woman.
Yes.
Okay. And
Wise
I met
woman.
this
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful medicine woman. And I found the nerve to approach her and she was like so gracious and I was like, grandmother, will you teach me? I like literally just like, will you teach me? And she was like, well, teach you what? And I hadn't even thought about what I wanted her to teach me. I'm like, herbalism, I just made something up and it was like herbalism. She's like, well, my girl, if you're really serious, come up and visit me sometime. And she gave me her information and everything. 2 months later, I went 22 hours up to Northern Ontario in a place called Serpent River. It was the reservation of where she lived. And I visited with her. We hit it off for the weekend. She took me to her farm, Warncliffe. And she was like, if you're really serious about wanting to be taught, I hold a women's retreat. Help me plan the retreat and bring some women, and I'll be happy to teach you. I brought 22 women to that gathering. Okay. And what I wrote about was all of the faux pas, all of the times I put my foot in my mouth and made the biggest mistakes in that retreat, and what I learned from this beautiful, beautiful woman, how I learned compassionate leadership, how I learned how to be able to support one another in a more compassionate way because I was in corporate, right? We took what
Mm,
we wanted.
yes.
You wanted to lead, you take the leadership of that
Mhm.
particular area. You wanted to engage in something, you grabbed it,
Yeah.
and that didn't work.
Right.
And here I was in a setting where everything I was used to doing did not work, and I kept making mistakes. And what Enolia, the Discover Your Sovereign Self journal is a chapter by chapter compilation of all of the lessons that I learned while I was at that retreat,
Mhm.
and then applying it to your life to show you based on the mistakes that I made, how you can look at your life and look at the mistakes I made and answer honestly in your own way. And then an affirmation to start getting you over that
Yeah.
hump of the
Yeah.
mistakes that are made in life.
It's shedding light on them so you know what to do with them, right? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So those are the first two books. And then the seven principles of self-mastery are my Empower, Achieve, Succeed through Self-Mastery program. Okay. And I take you through this program of rebuilding the foundation by which you stand on. It is not a leadership program. It is not, an entrepreneurial program. You put those on top of it. How can you be an entrepreneur if you doubt yourself all the time and you don't go to the point of origin of where you started doubting yourself? How
Yeah.
can you be a leader when you're petrified of standing and being an orator? Or let's say you've dealt with a huge trauma in the foundation of your growing and you never dealt with that trauma, you just buried it. And then what
Yeah.
happens is that it starts showing up and manifesting its negative way by like you being petrified or you being unable to move in certain situations or make a decision, we have to deal with those things. So I literally work on the foundational level by which you put other things on top of so that you
Mm.
re-strengthen that and face yourself and
Yes.
really get to the core of those things with seven principles. And the seven principles are not outside of ourselves. They're
Hmm.
already within us. So
Yeah.
what I teach you is I teach you to work with those seven principles that are already within you and to shift your decisions and to be able to understand what part of your personality is leading that makes you insecure, that makes you anxious, etc., etc., and then how to shift and make a different decision. And so I love that program. It's a 10-week program. The book goes hand in hand with the program, and you learn tremendously. And
Mm.
then the fourth book that I have, which is Know Thyself, is just an introduction to that self mastery program that just teaches you to start asking the questions that would start shifting you, that would start having you take an internal look at yourself so that it prepares you to be able to do the harder work, which is like look in the mirror and start loving what you see,
Yeah.
truly loving what you see.
Yeah.
So each one of them, the Know Thyself is an actual program, and you can buy the book alone or you can buy it with the 30 videos, and it's like a 30-day program of just every day questioning yourself and
Mm.
being honest with yourself and looking, and it's like that 30 steps to be able to start dealing with the self mastery.
And that's the thing we've yes, we're telling everybody to take that leap of faith, to take that journey and find their light. And then the big word comes up, how? Right? So what you've done is
Exactly.
you've taken the
I gave
how.
you the
This is
how.
how I did it. This is what I found worked. This is what I'm offering you for you to apply to your life and see how it works for you. What does it ignite in you? And it's going to ignite
Right.
different things in them as it did in you. But the whole point of it is ignition. How does it open you up?
Ignition.
Yeah, how does it open up? How does it show you things that you didn't see before? What tools does it give you to apply that can help you move forward in your own life? That's what these type of books and programs are all about, is to help you actually understand who you are, what you're here to do, and what your gift really is.
And I love the seven principles of self mastery because I give you the story behind each principle and each indigenous teacher that helped me face
Mm.
the areas of my own life and the stories behind it of how I came to understand this is the best way to approach it, this is how to approach it, and then actually navigating through it using the tools. So it's, to me, it's really powerful. It's like alchemy, you know. Here I have these beautiful teachers that took me along the road and changed my life forever, forever. And I'm so happy where I am now, and I'm so grateful and humbled to them that they took the time with me. And so the best
Wow.
thing that I could do is capture what they shared with me and put it in a book and then actually have it as a program to share with others. And what I
Yes.
love about this program too is that it's culturally independent. It is not a Western program. It is not like something that comes from the West. This program can be applied everywhere. I don't care if you're in Asia. Here I am in Africa, coming to you, speaking to you right now. And I'm taking Portuguese women through the program, you know, and they have
Yes.
traditions and they have all these different things. And I'm not coming saying in the West we do it this way. No, 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 no,
Mm.
no. We are human beings and we all
Yes.
have the same principles. We need to know the power of our words. We need to understand how we're supposed to define fear. We need to understand how to release judgment or when we're giving a power away. We need to understand our limited beliefs and how we can leverage forgiveness as a tool. We need to know what it feels like to stand in our power or just say, I am powerful. And those are the seven principles. And so, how to leverage those principles.
Yeah. I just want to throw out to people, by the way, that she is a Director of Operations for Vision Africa Development. She's dedicated to youth advocacy, women's empowerment, contributing to Africa. She holds an honorary doctorate in international peace ambassadorship from the United Nations and an ambassadorship for human rights from the World Assembly of Peace. So this isn't just, all talk. She is a woman of action. She does. right? When we ask you to be who you are, then you can go and do what you need to do. It's not about what you're
Right.
doing, it's about who you're being, doing what you're doing, right? So now you've had a taste of who she is as a human being, and you can see all that she does. So whether you, we're going to be doing another show for the mentorship directory where we will talk a little bit more detail on her programs and also how to join Womanology if you want to be a person who hosts on there and that you want to be able to interview other people and make a difference. So maybe you specialize in something that really can be of benefit to people, and you want to interview people around that subject because it's not being done elsewhere. So we're going to be talking about that in another show. But in the meantime, you've also got a free gift here, which is wonderful. And it's a YouTube that you're sharing. Can you tell people a little bit about that?
So it is a meditation, and it's actually predicated on the language of light. And so it will take you through a beautiful process of speaking to your higher consciousness and then clearing you as you engage and listen to it. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. It's one of the very first meditations I ever did, and I actually have it in CD. But what I did is I decided to just give it as a gift. So I put it on YouTube and I do share it as a gift. So
Right.
I hope you enjoy it.
Now, we've got many sites to go to. We've got the Wombology world. Would you please spell that for people who are just listening?
So it's wombology.world, and you see the oh, here we go. The sign right behind me. So it's WOMBOLOGY, wombology.world. And come join us, learn about how we amplify women's voices. If you're interested in the radio, please come take a look, and we'd be happy to talk to you and share with you. And I'm excited about wombology.world.
And of course, they
And
can
so,
also reach out to Enolia Live. That is your site for where
yeah.
your programs are.
Yeah, Enolia.live has my programs, my retreats, my books, my free meditations, my mentor classes, my workshop and master classes. I also am an energy healer, so if you want to book a session with me, you can book a session with me. It is the plethora of things. I'm leading a tour to Egypt. We're still looking for a couple of people, so if that appeals to you and Egypt is calling you, please come with us to Egypt. Don't come if you want to be a tourist. We're not doing it as a tourist.
Mm.
We're doing ceremony, and we're doing it as a spiritual journey. So we're actually going to Cairo, Giza pyramids. We're going to Aswan, taking a cruise up the Nile, and then we'll be in Luxor, and we'll do visit the Temple of Karnak. We'll be visiting Hathors, Temple of Isis, all the way up the road. We'll fly back to Cairo and still do some more touring there locally. So like that, or I just finished doing a retreat and a workshop on building your native drum in California. So I'll have more of those types of workshops and retreats to go to. And mentorship and master classes. Empower, Achieve, Succeed. You can work with me one-on-one, or you can work with me in a group. I'll be announcing the groups in probably about a month of when we'll do our next group work. I'll have 4 to 5 certified instructors working with me. Yes, you can actually be a certified Empower, Achieve, Succeed through self-mastery instructor also. So I have all of those interests on my enolia.live website.
And that's ENOLIA.live, LIVE. And on Facebook, you've got a few of them. Love Infinite Possibility. There's another one, CTW. You're on LinkedIn
The
on Dr.
CTW Ojibwe, and that's again, if you look up Enolia, there's not that many Enolias, so you will recognize me.
Right. And then LinkedIn, Dr. Enolia, going through, sorry, I've got to open this up to see it, Forte, FOTI. Of course, if you go purely to selfdiscoverywisdom.com and put in her name, just in Dr. Enolia, ENOLIA, you will see all of the shows that we've done together. And as I said, very shortly, we're going to be doing the mentors one, where we're going to be talking about her mentorship program, where we're going to be talking about all the programs that she does, and also how for you to be a part of the Wombology world as a radio host and what that entails. Your story matters, your voice matters, More and more in the world, we need to get other people to listen and to hear inspiring stories, having conversations that are igniting and enlightening. And in the more we do that, something for you to consider, folks. Every time we do a show like this, or somebody does a show like this, where we lift each other up, we lift each other's frequency up, and we vibrate it out. That isn't just this conversation here right now. It's already out in the ether. It's already out in the energy. The more we put out this positivity, the more we raise that vibration, raise that consciousness to a higher level, and the more we become the healing that the world needs. So we need you to participate and listen, but we also invite you to come and be a part of it. Maybe your self-discovery is to go through her programs and to find out who you are, why you, and what you're here to do. And then maybe it's to come and share it on Wombology as a host and share those stories with other people as well. This is what it's about. The invitation is there. Come and be the inspiration for someone else.
Thank you so much. It's so well served. Well stated. And, I want to leave the audience with this too. Dream a beautiful dream or you will be dreamt. And what that means is that if you don't hold a vision for yourself, for your life to become a walk to that vision, then you will end up allowing other people's dreams to be fulfilled. And you'll never meet them because people change every moment of every time. So dream your own dream, be your own dream, embody your own dream, and make your goals grand because you deserve it. And you did not come here to play small. You came here to be grand.
And to understand by dreaming that dream and putting out that vibration, beep, 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 somebody else that can align with that has a synergy with that person you're meant to meet, for whatever reason, they will pick up your frequency and you will find a way to connect. But if you don't dream it and if you don't project it, they can't pick it up. And that synchronicity of you meeting will never happen. So dream, put out those good vibrations. Beep, 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 and let people connect with you. Always a delight having you, darling, always. And I look forward to our next show where we will be a business show where we will talk about all her programs and everything she's doing. Please go back and listen to our last show. Please listen to the show that I did with her. It's always enlightening, always expanding, but please go and visit wombology.com, isn't it? Wombology.
It's actually wombology.world.
Right. So WOMBOLOGY.world, and just go and cruise all the people there that are sharing stories. Maybe you've never heard about numerology or you've not heard about this or heard that. Be inquisitive. How do we know what we are missing unless we're willing to learn and we're willing to hear something that we need to hear? So go and be exploratory. Right? This is your jungle. This is your adventure. Go and step out there and start listening. I promise you, it will change your life because you'll make discoveries about yourself that you never knew were there, even if it's just questioning, gosh, I didn't know that, and I need to know more. So thank you so much, Enolia. Always wonderful. Look forward to the next time. And don't forget, you'll also catch my shows over on Wombology as well. I will be over there. So if you didn't hear me here, you'll hear me there. So until next time, folks, please make your light shine bright. We need it in the world. Step out into all beautiful essence of what you are. Be that good vibration that will ignite other people. We are the solution to the world, and God knows it needs us right now. So until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration, it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.